Time is now 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. I'm calling to order the meeting of the Warwick School Committee for the month of July. At this time, I ask Ms. Tedeschi to please call the roll.
Mr. Galligan?
Here.
Ms. Hazelwood? Here. Mrs. Kirby-Chapman? Mr. Wiggins? Mr. Testa?
Here.
Thank you.
There's 5, that's a quorum. At this time, I'd ask everybody willing and able to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Immediately after the Pledge of Allegiance, I ask that we stand and have a moment of silence. These past couple of weeks have been a difficult one for our school community. We lost unexpectedly a great math interventionist, Miss Nikki Howell Green. Craig Callan, a former school committee member in the 80s or 90s, Mr. McCaffrey? In the 80s and 90s. And then most recently, Mr. J. Almeida, a teacher here at Warwick Veterans Middle School. So I would just ask that we please have a moment of silence for those 3 individuals that meant a lot to this school community.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this point, we're on to the recognition portion of our meeting. However, before we get into those that are listed, I do want to just give a special thanks and show of appreciation on behalf of the school committee. We certainly had a unexpected and rather severe storm roughly a week and a half ago, resulting in trees falling down on many of our properties, causing damage to Pilgrim High School. And because of the hardworking individuals within the WISE Union, specifically those within the buildings and grounds who work tirelessly to clean our properties and make sure a lot of these buildings could be opened for our extended school year students, it was all possible. Their hard efforts certainly saved this district thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in tree removal services. So on behalf of the school committee and the school administration and the community as a whole, I just want to say thank you very much to those hardworking people within the Buildings and Grounds Department. So if we can give them a round of applause, please. And now at this time, I would turn it over to Mr. Kroll to present our first individuals up for recognition.
Okay. Middle school, shot put champ, Gabrielle Boudreau of Warwick Vets. State champ boys discus, Parker Sylvia, Warwick Vets Middle School. Parker won by 2 inches, so every inch counts. State champ in the 3,000, Pilgrim High School, Keeney Behe. State champ, Pilgrim High School in the triple jump, Hunter Schobel.
And also, we have from Tollgate High School, we have Vanessa Jones. Vanessa is a junior at Tollgate, going to be a senior this year. State champ in the weight throw for indoor track, and also discus this past spring, earning first team All-State honors. So this will be going to Vanessa Jones.
Congratulations again to our student athletes for what they've accomplished. And now at this time, I would be looking for a vote to go into closed session for discussion and/or action regarding those items exempt from business from an open meeting under general laws of Rhode Island, RIGL 42-46-5A1, A2, A4, A8, and A9. Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now in executive. Time is now 6:33 p.m. on July 15th, 2025. I'm calling to order the meeting of the Warwick School Committee for the month of July. Returning to open session, there were no votes taken in executive session. Prior to us moving on to public comment, I'm just going to ask my colleagues and Superintendent McCaffrey to join us down front. With us to kick off our meeting is Parker Sylvia, individual state champion discus thrower with Warwick Veterans Middle School. He won the state championship by 2 inches. So let's give it up for Parker Sylvia. And Mr. Sylvia, if you'd join us down there. At this time, I'd be looking for a motion to seal the minutes of executive session. Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now on to public comment on agenda items. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and the administration alike will be respectful of each other's right to speak, tolerant of different points of view, and mindful of everyone's time. This public comment period is for agenda items only. A second public comment session is available later in the meeting for all other topics or concerns. Members of the public are permitted to speak during both public comment periods. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record. So those new to our meetings, it's the podium down here to my left. You can come on up one after another. Please make sure the microphone is on. There's a switch up top, and just state your name for the record. Again, 3 minutes, and this is for agenda items only.
One. I think it's good. Good evening, school committee members and everyone here from the public. I would be remiss not to get up here, as I know you move forward tonight to approve the wise layoffs, just by not reminding everyone that the impact on the positions that were eliminated will be extremely missed by our students when we head back to school in the fall, and are being currently missed now. So again, while we'll be hopeful that in the future that those positions will be restored. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Darlene Etko. As far as agenda items, I noticed there were a number of recognitions when the meeting started at 5:30. I think now that you're starting meetings at 6:30 and not 7, maybe you should move the recognitions to the regular part of the meeting so more people can be here, even though, I mean, there aren't many people here now at there are many times when there are more people here, and more people will be there to see the recognitions. I know it's being videotaped, but it's nice for people to have an audience in person when they're being recognized. Also on the agenda is the reorganization discussion. I have some ideas if anyone's willing to listen. I won't state them publicly, but if anyone were interested in my ideas for the reorganization of administration, I have been in this profession for 38 years, and I have some ideas I would like to share. And then finally, I'm sure you already acknowledged this earlier, but I want to offer my condolences and sympathies to the families and the friends and to really all of us. We lost two outstanding educators and wonderful human beings, Nikki Green and Jay Almeida, in very close succession. And their loss is felt not just by their families and their friends, but by everybody who knew and loved them. And so I just wanted to offer my sympathies and condolences to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Necco. Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment? Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Seeing none, public comments now closed. On to recommended actions, routine matters. Looking for a motion to move approval of minutes of public session, June 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to move approval of minutes of executive session, June 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa and Ms. Hazelwood. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to move approval of transfers, even though it says none. Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to move approval of warrants, July 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're on to announcements, personnel as presented. Presenting on behalf of Ms. Ruggieri this evening is Superintendent Mr. McCaffrey.
Good evening, members of the school committee. It's my pleasure to present the new appointments to the district. Christina Lyman, Assistant Director of Special Services. Amanda Carlson, School Psychologist, Lippert Hoxie Elementary Schools. Shelley Mahoney, AAP Special Education, Pilgrim High School. Abigail Hunt, Speech Language Pathologist, Warwick Neck, RIAA, Pilgrim High School Bridge Program. Under resignations,
1 second, Superintendent. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
under resignations, I will need a vote. Resignations, Eric Pagan, Elementary Principal, Lippert Elementary School. Nicole Kraus, Elementary School Teacher, Norwood Elementary School. Kristen Anderson, Librarian, Holloman Elementary School. And Meredith Thompson, Social Studies Teacher, Warwick Veterans Middle School.
At this time, I'd be looking for a motion to move approval on the retirements and resignations and appointments as presented.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Unfortunately, I don't have the years of service like Ms. Ruggieri would have, so I'm unable to give you that information this evening, but I would imagine it would be several years of employment on all these individuals. The next area we have to discuss this evening would be a rescindment of leave of absence. Jennifer Stevens, math interventionist, Scott Elementary School, and this is something that will need a vote.
Looking for a motion to move approval on the leave of absences.
Move
So
approval.
Made by Mr. Testa and Ms. Hazelwood. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay.
That's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. We're now on to donations and correspondence. There are none for us in the month of July here. And on to adoption of policies, second read. JD, Service Animal Policy. Looking for a motion to move approval on policy JD, Service Animal Policy.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa and Ms. Hazelwood, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. Any discussion?
No, I would say nay, but that would be a vote, you know.
Keep this going. Any other comments from this committee? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now on to new business. Item 1, discussion presentation, Ultimate Lymphedema Warrior Children's Book, as presented by one of our very own school employees, Miss Heather Silva, and her son, Gavin Silva. So if you guys like to come up.
I'm Heather Silva, my son Gavin. Gavin attends Norwood Elementary School. He's going into 5th grade, and I am a teacher here at Vets Middle School. We decided to spread awareness about lymphedema going back many years, but especially when Gavin started kindergarten. Most people know about the diagnosis of lymphedema usually after a surgery or an injury. It's very rare in pediatrics. Gavin was first diagnosed at 6 weeks old, and there was not much knowledge about pediatric lymphedema when he was born. Through the years, he has seen many specialists and surgeons, so what better way to educate others than to write a book, something I never thought that I would have done, or that we would have done. It is called Ultimate Lymphedema Warrior, and is about kids who deal with the stress and anxiety of feeling different. The Ultimate Lymphedema Warrior comes to visit the kids and give them the support they need to face obstacles. Kids think they are given superpowers, but learn valuable lessons about confidence and kindness in the children's book, while spreading awareness of the debilitating diagnosis. Although the book is geared towards lymphedema, the message is the same for kids who may feel they are different by whether they're wearing glasses, they have allergies, have diabetes, or just facing an obstacle in their life. It brings kids together and shows they are not alone. Every year, we ask for people to wear light blue on or near March 6th to show support for lymphedema. I look forward to seeing all schools sharing this March 6, 2026. If you are interested in the book, it is on Amazon that we've been promoting for classrooms and libraries.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before you step away, I've got to just say, I ran into Heather and her husband, Ed, and their son one evening, and they were telling me about how he wrote the book, and I just thought it was so cool that we had someone within our school district at such a young age that wrote a book and did so with his mother. And I bought a copy. I was lucky enough to get his autograph on the inside. And during one of the reading weeks, it was great reading it to the children. And the kids had questions, and the book is so good. It has a lot of great photographs for them, and the kids really enjoyed it. It's a very good book. So I've got to ask you, do you have any copies on you tonight?
Yes, we do.
Do you have 5 copies on you?
I do have 5.
Okay, I need another book because someone stole mine at one of the elementary schools, and I got to buy 4 for my colleagues here, okay?
Sure.
All right, great. So I'm going to come down and see you, and then while I come down and see you, we can get going with the next agenda item. But any other comments from members of the committee? Mr. Wiggins.
So, I know you, Gav. It's very important to note, everybody that's here, Gavin is also an incredible athlete, regardless of what what he's going through. He is an incredible soccer player. He's an incredible baseball player. He's an inspiration to watch, and being a part of watching Gavin play at my little league has been an inspiration to me. And I think Gav, you're just proud of you, dude. Great job.
Great, thank you. Any other comments from members of the committee? Okay, thank you. Next, we have discussion presentation, Spring 2025 Academic Update as presented by Dr. Schultz.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to give you some amazing academic updates. We've made some really innovative strides since the pandemic has taken place, and you'll see that in our growth that we can chart here on the screen. So huge growth. If you look at this chart, this is some of our iReady data, which is the screener. It's our program for mathematics from grades K through 8. And it may not look like much, but all of those dots represent a school. And if you look, they are all on the upper 2 quadrants, which means that every single school in reading has made high growth, which is fantastic. In years past, we've had a couple stragglers down below, but due to the hard work of our teachers, our students, our administrators, we've been able to get everyone into those upper quadrants. Oops, wrong way, excuse me. And I want to just give a quick shout out to Park Elementary School, Veterans Middle School, Windman Middle School, and Norwood Elementary School for having the highest growth and performance out of the entire district. Congratulations to them. This shows us how our students are doing overall. The lighter band below is how they did in the fall for their baseline placement, and then the most recent diagnostic test shows you amazing growth. We want all of our students to be in green, and the darker green shows the students that are either on or above grade level, and the ones that are light green are almost right there. And we went from 37% proficiency to 63% in reading. Our red went down by 12%. Those are students that are 2 or more grades below. And at 70% or higher proficiency, we have Greenwood in the lead, Holloman, Norwood, Park, Robertson, Scott, and Wyman. It's a lot to celebrate. All right, so now in mathematics, that same type of chart, you can see again that all the schools are right there where we need them to be. They're either on the line or above it, which is fantastic. Again, that's the first time we've seen numbers like that. Fabulous. In the lead, again, you might hear the same names here, Park, Norwood, Scott, and Windman Middle School again. So for mathematics, very similar. We went from 22% to 59% proficiency. We beat last year's average by 2%, so fantastic job, everybody. And at 65% proficiency or higher, we have Cedar Hill in the lead, Greenwood, Norwood, Park, Robertson, Scott, Warwick Neck, and Wyman Elementary School. So congratulations to them. Fantastic news. Overall growth, you can see reading up there, math is down below. Anything that is over 100% at the end of the year means that we are closing gaps for students that are right there almost at grade level or below. And so we've closed a lot of gaps this year alone. Now we have a couple high school updates. So this is what our PSAT scores look like right now for last year's grade 10 students. And then you can see the year before for a comparative analysis. There's a lot of data here, so this is publicly available data, and I could always send you a copy if you'd like to email me. But we have very similar patterns to what the state had for this year. You can see that highlighted, we have Pilgrim over the state average in both areas right now for both ELA and math, which is certainly something fabulous to celebrate. We also have an SAT update. So our current 11th graders are in that third column over compared to the ones that took it the last year. You can see right now that we went up, and it's great news. We are above the state in both high schools, which is fantastic. And Pilgrim has raised their mathematics scores so much that we are only 1 point below state average at this point, which is quite an amazing amount of growth from where they were just a few years ago. The cohort-to-cohort analysis just tells us that the students who took the PSATs were to compare how they're doing to how they did on the SATs. So it's the same students. It's a better comparative analysis instead of comparing 2 different groups of students like I just did in the prior 2 slides. You can see that there is a huge delta for both high schools, and overall, both schools had more growth this year than last year's cohort-to-cohort analysis, which was fantastic. A lot of great AP news from Pilgrim. We had AP Seminar for English 2, AP Language and Composition, and AP Literature and Composition. Their pass rate for students getting a 3 or above was 89.8%, 96.7%, and 96.3%. For anyone that has taken an AP test, you know how difficult that is to accomplish, and have almost every single student do that and then beat not only the state average, but the global average by that many points. That is fantastic. Great job, Pilgrim. You can see how their scores have grown from 2021 to 2025, and you can see, it's hard to see, but the students that passed the exam in 2021 compared to 2025, it is incredible growth. It looks like, what is that, about 40% growth there? A little bit more? Incredible. So excited. All right, and then we have great AP news from Tollgate as well. The top passing courses are 2D Art and Design, 100% of the students passed. English Language and Composition, 97%. They have another group of kiddos, 95%. I mean, you can't say anything negative about these numbers. This is fantastic news. Again, you can see that in 2021, they were at about 47% passing rate, and now at 78%. A lot to celebrate. Looking ahead, we are going to continue with pushing on with elevating student voices for next year, really pushing discourse in the classrooms, letting students' voice and choice be heard, making sure that we're differentiating instruction, and always looking through a data-focused lens. If you have any questions, please reach out, and thank you very much for your time today.
Are there any comments from members of the committee? Mr. Testa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dr. Schultz, thank you. I always comment on this. The I-rated scores in K through 8 are it's very impressive. The progress that's being made is very impressive, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It needs to translate into the high schools, right? And judging by the PSAT cohort, I think we're seeing some of that.
We're on the right
AP, I can't tell you how happy the AP results make me, because when I first got on this committee, I would post on my social media page what our AP results were, and quite frankly, they were not that impressive. But they are now.
Yes, they are.
So, and that's a testament to all the hard work up and down the district, right? From the teachers to the principals, to administrators, to everybody. So all I can say is well done. There's always room for improvement, right? We never get there, right? We're always continuously improving. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from members of the committee? I have one thing to say. I know a lot of you are shocked by that, probably, right? I just want to say congratulations to the administrators and the teachers and all the TAs and everyone else that helped to achieve these scores, to achieve these metrics. I've said it every year consistently. I don't believe in the RICAS testing. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. At the high school graduations this year, I talked about how I measure the success of our district. And when we're looking out at over 200 plus students sitting there, and then throughout the May period, attending their junior honor society or honor society nights and hearing about everything they've accomplished. And then when Mr. Kane brings forward the career and tech center students and hearing about the medals or awards that they have achieved. And then really looking at these results and realizing that behind those data points, although they're numbers, they're children, and they're children that are showing growth, and it's because of the hard work of our all employees throughout Warwick Public Schools, no matter what their role is, but also the children buying in and buying into the curriculum and coming into school every day. So I'm very pleased, and I'll end with more of a personal note here to continue on with Reading Week. My mother read in one of the elementary schools this year, and she couldn't believe what was being taught in second grade. And the kids started explaining what it is they were doing in class that day, and she was shocked that it was a second grade class. And so I know that often we hear comments like, it's an underperforming school district or things of that nature. And I completely and emphatically disagree. And it's unfortunate that we have to wait for 2 points in the year to kind of look at our diagnostics to really dispute those comments, when throughout the year there's constantly something good going on. And I'm just incredibly proud of these kids and how they performed this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue to grow as a district year after year, continuing on the journey of becoming a best-in-state school district. So thank you to you and everyone else in the administration, all of our employees. Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none. We are on to item 3, discussion update. FY25 monthly financial report and year-end review. Mr. Enos.
Good evening, everyone. We are in that time of year where the finance department is in between two worlds, fiscal year 25 and fiscal year 26. Fiscal year 25 is still in the process of being closed out. We have a deficit for year end, as folks are aware. However, it is too soon to say what that number is. We have many encumbrances on purchase orders that still need to be closed out and revenue that still needs to be recorded on our books. For fiscal year 26, the superintendent and I have been having small group work meetings with members of the Budget Commission. We've been looking at various areas of the budget. We've been working collaboratively with them. We've been looking at technology, all kinds of software, hardware, and we are really trying to fine-tune that so that hopefully within the coming weeks we will have a finalized fiscal year 26 budget. I did want to take an opportunity, since I have the microphone and I have the camera, to speak to parents and guardians and the public who are watching so that they can maybe help us out. We know that many of our families in Warwick are experiencing food insecurity at this time. And I just wanted to give a reminder that we have our summer meals program that is running 5 days a week until August 22nd. We have 3 locations. The first one is at the public library on Sandy Lane, where breakfast is served from 9 to 10 a.m. and then lunch is served from 1 to 2. Oakland Beach School in the parking lot near the baseball field. Lunch is served from 11:15 to 11:45. And finally, at the Norwood Ball Field, lunch is served from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. We just want to be sure that if our families need food, we want to be sure that they have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Enos. Any comments or questions from members of the committee? Mr. Testa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Enos, could you just touch very briefly on the issue about the federal government withholding title funds?
Sure. Briefly, I'll try.
Yeah, just briefly.
Yeah. So as you're aware, when we've been talking about the consolidated resources plan under all of our titles 1 through 4, and the IDEA grant. We have our funding for Title I and for IDEA, but the state has not received any allocations yet for Titles II, Title III, and Title IV. The stories and what we hear day-to-day changes, it's not good, because usually by this point we have those funds available and ready to spend, but that changes on a day-to-day basis.
It could be a significant amount of money.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
so
We have some.
It's about $7 billion nationally.
Yeah, but for us, so we do have some staffing that are funded under Title II and Title IV. Under Title II, we are required to funnel some resources to the private and parochial schools that are in Warwick. Those will be impacted as well. Title III is the services for our MLL students. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yep. Thank you. I just wanted you to just acknowledge it publicly, because a lot of people may not be aware. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none. We are now on to item 4, discussion update, capital and construction project update, as presented by Mr. Gothberg.
Good evening. Quick update for what's going on this summer. At Holloman, we're just finishing up with the door adjustments. Facilities is in cleaning the building. Plumbing and HVAC training had to be rescheduled to middle of this month, should be coming up next week. And bookshelving and counters are going in this week and should be completed by middle end of next week. And the place looks spectacular, I think. Looks very nice. Summer projects, door frames are being installed. They were working at Cedar Hill today. Openings are boarded up and secured until the doors arrive, which will be the end of next week. And when those come in, they'll begin to be installed. Storefront deliveries have been moved up, and we should have those completed before school starts, unlike I said last month, because I thought they were coming in later, but we did get those deliveries moved up. Scott Septic, thanks to Mr. Hennius and his persistence and tenaciousness, we finally made contact with the owners group. We are waiting on their proposed conditions for moving forward so we can put together our formal proposal to them. Our architect and engineer have been notified and waiting for the okay to move ahead with the design so we can go out to bid for the work. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments from members of the committee? Ms. Hazelwood.
Hi, Mr. Gothberg. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Ms. Hazelwood.
I have a question about Oakland Beach HVAC system. I know it failed earlier in the month, and Superintendent has told me that it is working again. Have the corrections been made to that system?
Yeah, that happened because of a brownout or a power surge. There were blown not circuit breakers, but bus fuses in the disconnects.
So the only thing wrong with this is that it was fuses.
But yeah, it was a power surge.
That's it.
That's it.
And now it's fixed.
It is fixed, running
Okay.
well. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Any other comments from members of the committee? Scheduled move-in date for Holloman?
I will defer to Ms.
July 23rd. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? Seeing none.
Right,
We
thank
are
you.
now on to item 5. Discussion at update, high school project update as presented by Left Field.
Good evening. I'm sorry. Brief status update on the high school projects. We are in receipt of the guaranteed maximum price for construction, or GMP, for the Pilgrim High School. It's currently under review by the Left Field and Capital Projects team. We plan to bring it forward to this committee in the August meeting. Tollgate is approaching their final RIDE design milestone with the submission of the construction documents package. This will be RIDE's last opportunity to review and provide feedback before the end of the project's design phase. We're going to have a brief presentation on that, just following this agenda item here. Tollgate's guaranteed maximum price for construction will come before the committee the following month in September. Construction activity on site at Tollgate for the early release work is actually underway. Hazmat abatement on the Drum Rock School is now complete. Tree clearing and grubbing is complete. Ledge blasting, very exciting, kicks off next week. And as soon as the utilities are cut by the utility company at the Drum Rock School on August 2nd, the demolition of the Drum Rock building will commence. At Pilgrim, we are currently working with the Department of Environmental Management on the contaminated soil remediation plan. We now have a broad sampling and understanding of the location of the contaminants on site. We do need to work with DEM very closely on the best approach for remediation. As I've said in previous meetings, it's a multi-step process. It is somewhat time-consuming, but we're looking to have that finished up and to start work at Pilgrim High School in mid-August. That concludes my update. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Bates? No. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, discussion action. Looking for a motion to move approval of the approval of Tollgate 60% construction document RIDE submission.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. Any discussion for members of the committee? No. Any comments, Mr. Gothberg? If you want to come and give a high level. Okay.
Okay, Sean. This is the bubble diagram that shows the rearrangement and the connection to the CTC building and the bringing in of the classrooms, general classrooms, to the CTC building. And it just shows the modification to that bubble diagram. Again. This is the overall site plan. I don't know if you can see it, but we had to reconfigure the parking lot, the main entrance down below. We did the reconfiguration of the car path for drop-off. But other than that, there are no other changes to the site. This shows the rearrangement of the connection to CTC from the redesigned lower entry exit, the pathway down, and the crosswalk to Career and Tech. Again. Once again, there are no changes to the overall layout of the building. This shows the integration of the special education program throughout the building and the expanded size of the gym floor. So we have a NCAA size court. Okay, again. This shows the second floor level, the 2 levels, and rearrangement of a couple of classrooms near the auditorium. Again. On the 3rd floor, again, above, shows the stacking of the art and science and the general classrooms. Again. The auditorium, with some changes made there. We have the ramp leading up, so we don't have a lift. We have the expanded size of the stage itself, and the general look to it. It looks really nice, I think. Again, this is the main entrance. No changes there. This is the entrance after the foyer into the building, looking at the media center, showing the ceiling that draws you into the building. It looks really well, we think. Again. And this is the cafeteria showing the dining commons and the learning stairs. Again. That's it. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments from members of the committee? Appreciate you presenting this evening to us and highlighting the differences from the last time we approved the design. So that's all I have.
There isn't much, but thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Anything else? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now on to item 7, discussion update, superintendent update, as presented by Superintendent McCaffrey.
Mr. Chair, members of the school committee, over the past month, we've been working on the issue that came up at our last school committee meeting, that the splits at the elementary level. Please note there's 3,377 students that are registered at this time for elementary sections, and we have approximately 171 classroom sections of general education at the elementary level. We have been working weekly as a team with the Director of Special Education, a Director of Curriculum, and the elementary office. We've made significant progress in eliminating the splits at this time, and our goal is to have no splits for the start of the school year. I would like to give you an update at the August school committee meeting on where we are at that time. Please note, registrations fluctuate daily. The numbers do change from day to day, and we're looking at information weekly. And with that information, we are making significant progress, and would like to report to you in August on where we were at that time, and the goal is to have no splits. Are there any questions?
Any questions? It's always nice to get good news.
Just
Superintendent.
applause, that's all. Applause.
I would also like to add, this month we've been looking as a team at the middle level and how we can offer more extracurricular opportunities after school for our students. It's our belief that, we want to have our students engaged and active in activities that are aligned not only at the middle level but to the high school level. We want our students transitioning from our middle school programs right into our high school programs. We're looking at areas of music, arts, as well as intramural athletics. And This month, I will be making a recommendation to the Health and Wellness Committee to look at the intramural athletic activities that would like to see at the middle level for the 25-26 school year, and get input from the Health and Wellness Committee. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any comments, questions from members of the committee? Mr. Wiggins.
After speaking with you, Superintendent, it's going to be, I apologize for my voice got a little ill. I think it's a great opportunity for the Health and Wellness Committee to get involved in something like this, to expand the ability to have these children do more activities, do things outside of the scope of especially at the middle school level, where we have several sports in which you have 60 kids going out for one particular sport. Not all 60 are going to make it, but you also want to engage them and want them to be active. So I think this is a great initiative by the superintendent, and I'm very welcome to to bring that to the Health and Wellness Committee and work on that.
Thank you. Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none. We're on to item 8. Looking for a motion to move approval on the organizational chart restructuring.
So moved.
Made by Ms. Hazelwood, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. Any comments from members of the committee? I would just like to thank Superintendent McCaffrey for his hard work. He really beat this up. I know myself and some of my other colleagues, weighed in, or all of my colleagues weighed into him on his decisions here, all voicing, our support and concerns and our input. And he did a great job, and we're very appreciative of him taking the feedback. And ultimately, I'll remark that when we went through our layoffs at the end of the school year in preparation for the new fiscal year, one comment that always comes out is they need to make changes at the administrative level. And now with the restructuring here that's been presented to the school committee, and that will be announced publicly, with the visual document that Mr. McCaffrey has created. Certainly there have been positions eliminated. I think the biggest one to note is, assuming it passes here in a second, is the elimination of a assistant superintendent position. So that has occurred. That's a big change for this district. He's really drilled it down to a very small group of direct reports. So I just commend him on his hard work, and there are cost savings presented to the district through his restructuring here. So thank you very much, Mr. McCaffrey, for that. Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none. Okay, at this time, looking for all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And with that, we have a couple people in attendance. I want to congratulate our new Director of IT, Mr. Joseph Napolillo. One of the changes in the organizational chart was his promotion, and we have eliminated the Assistant Director of IT. So that is presenting a cost savings to the district, and we wish you all the best. Our new Executive Director of Elementary Education, Dr. Schultz. Moving over from curriculum. And then most recently, this name always escapes me, our new Executive Director of Secondary Schools here in Warwick, Mr. Timothy Kane, coming to us from the Warwick Area Career and Tech Center. So, there are multiple other changes made. Everything's still being ironed out, and then obviously with all of these people moving into new positions or roles, not all positions are being cut. There are some other positions that need to be backfilled, and certainly we're removing a principal from one area, so that's a vacancy that's now going to be filled. So we said it as a committee at the end of last year that there are going to be big, massive changes coming, and there's more to come. So as we continue to right-size the school district to our enrollment and our needs.
Mr. Chair,
So congratulations.
if I may,
yes,
just quick,
Mr. Test.
since you announced Dr. Schultz, And congratulations to all, obviously. Dr. Schultz, I mentioned to you earlier this morning, so at some point, the curriculum director we're going to need. So when that time comes, we have to have someone who's got the passion, it's a word I don't use very often, but the passion, the zeal for curriculum, achievement, and data-driven stuff. So if a candidate comes in and they don't have that, boot them. We don't want them. So that's all. Thank you.
I think Steve Gothberg was going to apply for that. He has like energy that's through the roof. So.
We wish we could clone you.
That's very nice. Thank you, everybody. I'm very honored for the opportunity. Thank you. I will try to fill Patty Cousineau's shoes. It will be very difficult, but thank you.
All right. At the advice of legal counsel on item 9, I'm looking for a motion to pass litigation ride CTE appeals.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Hazelwood.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Testa. Any discussion on this? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion to pass passes. Next item, we have item 10, discussion action, wise layoffs. I'm looking for a motion to move approval on item 10. Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next item we have, looking for a motion to move approval on discussion action, approval of superintendent's contract as presented in executive session.
So moved.
Made by Ms. Hazelwood and Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. McCaffrey. It's now official, finally. Next item we have, item 12, discussion action, looking for a motion to move approval on the Alphabest contract extension.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. Any discussion? Mr. Testa.
I have a question. I guess this would be for Dr. Schultz. So this is our second year or third year with this? I think.
You know, that's a great question. As a newly appointed executive member here, I do have the cheat sheet in front of me. I do believe it's the third year.
Third? Okay.
Third year, yes. Thank you.
And
Thank
so
you.
the point I'm leading up to is
Yes.
there's a value to this, and that's why we've re-upped it for the third year in a row. So
Absolutely.
anticipation's good, the reviews are good, and all that, right?
Yes, we had a couple struggles, but we're set with staffing for next year. I had a really important meeting with the team that oversees it, the Alphabet administrative team, and we're good to go for next year. We did add 2 additional schools this year. I think that if things go well this year, because it is a one-year extension, I think that we maybe can move it and expand it across the district, because I think it's vital for parents to have that option for their students, that they know they're safe, they're dropped off at school. And so I hope that everything goes well this year, but we're going to keep a close eye on it.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item we have, discussion action, approval FY26 July expenditures. First item, looking for a motion to move approval on the bid awards package.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Hazelwood. We have for us in this folder one bid award. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'd be looking for a motion to move approval on bond-funded expenditures. We have 5 bond-funded expenditures in that folder.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All of the 5 items within this folder are relative to the high schools project. I know, I don't even have to ask it. Mr. Testa, do you want to give us the announcement of the savings?
So I would, in the aggregate, these 5 bids, a couple of them came in over. One came in over $4 million, one came in under $7 million, but at the end, the aggregate, they came in roughly $3.2 million below budget. So it's a good thing, and as Mr. Bates said this morning, I don't want to give anyone false hope that these schools are going to cost $7.67, but it's good to know that, you know, what we've done so far, again, I use the word, not necessarily a trend, but it's a good place to be, because being on the other side of the equation is not good. So thank you to everyone from left field and DeMio and Mr. Gothberg and whoever else was involved.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Any other comments regarding our bond-funded expenditures, the 5 bond-funded expenditures associated with the construction? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'd be looking for a motion to pass change orders to previously approved purchases as there are none.
There are none.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion to pass passes 5-0. Next, I'm looking for a motion to move approval on FY26 July expenditures under the general funded expenditure folder. There are 43 items within this folder, so I'd be looking for a motion to move approval.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa,
So
seconded
moved,
by
yeah.
Ms. Hazelwood and Mr. Wiggins. Mr. Testa.
Thank you. I just have a couple, they're more informational questions for me. They're not hung up on any of these. Dr. Schultz, I think this first one is for you. It's Rec 22306, the Cyber Communication Solutions, the two-way radios. I don't know if you know the answer. Maybe Mr. Enos knows. Is this budgeted? Because it doesn't say it anywhere on our sheet. It is budgeted. Excellent. Okay. Dr. Schultz, a general question. There's a couple of expenditures here for AP texts to get them updated. Do you know how old our AP texts are, roughly?
Yes. Many of them are at the exact limit that is allowed by AP, and so I tried to push as many purchases as possible through this year for science and social studies, because those are the ones that were most in dire need. And we do have one set of textbooks that is 11 years old. They need to be within that 10-year time frame, so I'm hoping to shift some funds around immediately after this meeting ends to make sure that we get those replaced, because we want to make sure we have only the finest materials for our students.
So the Berlin Wall has been down in all of our textbooks, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. The next one, I think, Mr. Enos, the Alio link, buying another year of Alio. Okay. I know in the past we've had issues with their customer service and their support of the system. Do those still exist? Have we been able to improve any of that, at least in the short term?
They are working hard. Yeah. So our plan, the plan is, so this week we started our first 3 days of training with Munis. The plan is to go live July 1, 2026 with the general ledger, followed by the payroll portion on January 1, 2027. So we have one more year of Alio. They are trying to do the best that they can to support us. It's a struggle at times, but at times we seem to come up with a workaround. So.
Okay, good. And the very last one I have also pertains to you, the Beacon Mutual, I think this is workers' comp insurance? So,
yes.
How does it compare to last year? Is it a lot higher?
It's higher. It's approximately $120,000 more than last year. We did have a couple of high workers' compensation claims in one of our subgroups, and that was the primary driver.
Okay. That's all I had, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Any other comments from members of the committee? I have just one for Ms. Barber concerning the Rhode Island Alternative Academy. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. So with the Rhode Island Alternative Academy, we were, when we approved that contract, it was at $32,000 per student for year one. That was effective for the 24 to 25 school year, correct? And within that contract, there was a 2.5% annual increase, correct?
Yes.
And this year, you're asking for believe it's 1.8 million, correct?
1.4, hold on, I have that. I think the confusion, there's an estimated enrollment for 36 students, but we have 44 spots there, and so when you do the math, that it comes out closer to that.
A rough $300,000.
Yes. Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, why would we prepay those spots? Is it the agreement that we can send up to 44 students there? So
Correct.
wouldn't we want to just, are we basically authorizing like an open PO for 1.4 million?
Right.
So that if we end up setting 44 students there, then we're all set? Or should we, I don't know, I guess this question's for both you and our Executive Director of Finance. Should we be just paying for what we know is going to enroll into that for the 25-26 school year, and then have like reserves set off to the side in the event we need them? And if not, those reserves can be used to transfer over to other expenditures.
Yeah, I would have to look at the contract language. I don't have that right in front of me. But I know that we did fill those spots this year, and we've been able to bring some kids back, so that's why we have 36. We've been able to bring, which was our plan.
Yeah.
To be able
Yep.
to bring those kids back. We had 2 graduate, one's transitioning to the high school, so just that flexibility of having that. But I'm not sure of the contract language. I'd have to look at that.
Yeah, if you and Mr. Enos could look at that and just determine, like, if we pay that 1.4, if we approve that tonight, how does that work? Do we get money back at the end of the year if we only send 35 students?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we get a credit on the next upcoming year? Those are just my questions around that. So I guess it would be you two working together and maybe even involving this man to my left here from a contract perspective. So that's all I have on that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, looking for those in favor of the 43 general funded expenditures.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And last but not least, looking for a motion to move approval on the grant funded expenditures.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. I did verify, as you heard Mr. Testa's concerns earlier with regards to the Title II, III, and IV funds. We did get the green light. I inquired with our Executive Director of Finance. He said it is okay to approve these tonight. There is one that requires RIDE approval. We have not gotten that RIDE approval yet. So at least we go through that motion. That's the St. Kevin's. Could you that's the St. Kevin's expenditure. So we go through the motion night, we approve it, and if it gets approved by RIDE, great, it gets funded, and otherwise,
Right.
we've at least done what we've needed to do by memorializing the vote. So, any other comments from members of the committee on the grant-funded expenditures? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now on to the second public comment period. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and the administration alike will be respectful of each other's right to speak, tolerant of different points of view, and mindful of everyone's time. This public comment period is for general comments or concerns. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record.
Jacob Medore, Warwick resident, Warwick graduate, and a current Warwick teacher. I just have some questions and concerns about the design of the new high schools. I've already spoken on other concerns previously. I won't rehash those. Looking at the new blueprints that were presented tonight, it has, I believe, 3 classrooms over at the Career and Tech building, and it has 1 or 2 Career and Tech classrooms at Tollgate. Well, I understand that this was the original plan pre-pandemic when we had the public meetings. I was at those, but it does seem, in my opinion, at least, unless there's not another rationale for it, a little silly to have 3 science rooms move over to Career and Tech and have 1 Career and Tech program move over to Tollgate. And I say this mainly from the perspective, right now at Tollgate, there is an overhang between Tollgate and the Career and Tech building. At least based on my understanding, that there is not going to be an overhang or and going on, anything of that sort, connecting Tollgate to the Career and Tech Center. So I know this, you guys can't answer, but I was wondering what the rationale was to have kids going through the rain, going through the snow, just so you can have a class out on the other building. I understand if there's a need for that, like the Career and Tech building, but I would think we would want to minimize that as much as possible. That's my one comment at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Maduro, if you would, please just put your questions and concerns into an email, and I'll get you connected with the appropriate person. Thank you.
Good evening, Julie Connors Costello, Warwick school teacher, resident, taxpayer, voter. I have just a couple of things. My first question is, I'm hoping that Windman will once again get a school resource officer or a safety assistant, because we lost our last person in May, and I just want to make sure that it's on the record that Windman will hopefully get somebody back. My second question is, do we know when the hours of construction will be at Tollgate? Because my classroom is what directly looks out to the back of Tollgate. So I didn't know if they'll be blasting or doing whatever during school hours. I'd also like to say congratulations, Lisa, but I will be sad not to be working with you on a curriculum level. And lastly, about the AP scores, I'm extremely impressed. My husband has been teaching AP for over 30 years here in Warwick. He started here at Vets. He taught them at Pilgrim. Just a little thing about the history AP exams. The exam is a national exam given on a day that the AP board tells people to do it. And miraculously, our kids have done amazing, as Dr. Schultz showed us, and they miss out on almost a month of what could be instruction, because the test is typically, the second week in May or the third week in May. I think it's probably because the schools get out earlier in the South, but the kids have done an amazing job with probably, like I said, about a month's fewer topics that could have been talked about. So congratulations to the kids. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the AP exams are 2 full weeks in May. And so
Could you just state your name for the record?
Darlene Netco, I'm back. The AP exams are the full 2 weeks, in May, 2 exams a day. And so sometimes kids have 2 AP exams on one day. They're 3-hour exams, and they're blocked off for like 4-hour chunks to get the breaks in and so on. It's a very elaborate process and a very particular process, because they have to be followed strict guidelines based on the national. I want to congratulate Bill and Lisa and Tim and Joe on their new positions. I've enjoyed working with all of you in the past, and I hope we can have productive communications and work toward a proper educational system in the future. As we always say, my door is always open. You can stop by any time. I'd had a comment also about the Budget Commission people meeting at the ad building with the various administrators and finance and so on. I am hoping that these budget commissioners who are coming to meet with you are getting an education and are learning that the school department really is not like hiding funds or wasting money or whatever they think we're doing on the city side there, and that the city has grossly underfunded our schools for at least 15 years, And it is time for the city to properly fund the schools. And I am hoping that at least 3 members of that commission will see the school department's perspective and the perspective of education and go back to the city and say it's time to provide the proper funding. If not, then the school department will have to take a Carullo action, and we'll see what happens. Providence had to pay up some extra money this year, and maybe Warwick will need to do so also. And then finally, what did I write down? Oh, when we're talking about budget, that has resulted in the loss of both WTU and WISE positions. And I am hoping that as funds come back, as they should, we need our math interventionists back. You saw math scores rose. We need math interventionists back. We need TAs back. I think as the school year begins, you are going to find out that you're going to have to put TAs back. We need the Italian position at Tollgate High School. I haven't forgotten about that, and I don't want you to forget about it either.
30 seconds.
I am pleased to hear that the split situation, I know I've talked to Dr. Schultz, and I know she had an idea for working on those splits, and so I am pleased to hear that the splits are going to not exist, because as you heard at the last meeting, it is educationally outrageously unsound. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Necco.
Good evening, Melissa Lamoth, speech language pathologist and parent of a Winman student. I just wanted to stand up tonight and say thank you to Dr. Schultz, to Superintendent McCaffrey, to the school committee, to all of those that were involved in advocating to eliminate these splits, and also to all of those who spoke out against the original plan. I know that there were many of us, and I think that collectively, it looks like a better decision is going to be made. I remain hopeful that the decision will be made that's in the best interest of the students, and that it continues to be the most productive school environment. So I truly, truly appreciate all the work that I know was done in order to eliminate the original plan and to work for our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment? Any other members of the public wishing to comment? No? Okay. Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Ms. Kane, you have anything you want to say? Anything to add to this meeting? No? Okay. Seeing none. Public comment is now closed. We are on to future meetings. The next fiscal subcommittee meeting, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 at 3 p.m. The next policy subcommittee meeting, Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. The next building committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, August 6th, 2025 at 7:30 a.m. The next regularly scheduled monthly school committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. There is a special executive committee meeting of the Warwick School Committee scheduled for this Thursday at 8 a.m. Again, that's an executive committee meeting, not open to the public. And the next Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting is to be determined. Again, one final shameless plug here. Go online, go on Amazon, purchase yourself a copy of the Ultimate Lymphedema Warrior book. It's perfect. If you're a teacher, please buy a copy, especially at the elementary level. As a parent who tries to work from home, we will see you next month in the month of August for the last school committee meeting before school starts back up again. Get those kids back in school. With that being said, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Made by Ms. Hazelwood. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Mr. Testa. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We're adjourned at 7:43.